Assalamualaikum. My name is Nuruh Binti Muhammmad Sharifuddin. Today I will explain about the activity for the lab assignment. So for program 1, first use TCP protocol. Second, the program is about client will sending his or her IP address to server. And last, the server will display the IP address of client on his or her screen. So next, so on the left side is the server that we use C language, while on the right side is the client which we will use the Python language. So first we list both sides by using ls command, and then we use nano program1 server.c to show the code for the server side first. The up is the library, and then we will use the port 8080. The port number must more than 1023. So next is the declaration for the program, and we use char buffer, that string that will be received. So here server socket and assign IP port, which is 127.0.0.1. So next, bind, we use bind to connect to the socket. So here is the code for binding newly created socket, and print listen port number that we will receive from the client. So next, this code will accept the data packet from the client. So here is the code, and it will show that it is connected. So here is the buffer used for receive string from the client into the buffer. So we will print out the client IP address that we will receive from the client side by using buffer. So here is, this will send to the client side. So here we type nano p1 client for the client side. So here is the code for the client side. Here we will import the socket and declare the IP, port, address, size and format used. So here, establish the connection to the server by using this code. We will print out the connected to the server when it is successful. So next, this will send IP address to the server. If we say we must use encode, but if we receive data from the server, we will use decode. So here it will show the server received the IP address from the server side. So and then we close the code, and I think that's all for the code for program 1, and let's proceed to the next.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammmad Imran bin Yimtiyaz, and I'm gonna present program 1 of server and client. Alright, I will compile and run this server. Okay, firstly we will write gcc p2 server. Wait, let me write the correct command. Okay, p1 server.c, p1 server. Okay, this will compile the server to make sure there is no error. As you can see, there is no error. Next, we will then run the server. Okay, let me write the command /p1 server. Okay, and hit enter. Okay, now the server is on listening, port number 8080. So the server will wait for someone to bind with it. So then we go to the client. Then we run the client python p1 client dot kpy. Okay, so we run the client. Now as you can see, the python the client is connected with the server, and this, you see, it's send the message to the server telling it's connected, and the client send the IP address to the server. This show the IP address of the client. Client IP address receive 127.0.1.1, and this tells us the client received the IP address from the server. The IP address from the server. So that's all. Next, we will continue with the video.
Okay, my name is Wahirul Arif, and for my part I will explain about the program 2 and the source code of program 2. Okay, so program 2 require us to use the UDP protocol, and the program is about server will sending current time to client, and the client will display the current time sent by the server. Then the client will need to send thank you message or any other message that is input by user. Then the server will receive the message and display in the server screen. Okay, now let's move on to the source code of the server. So first, the source code of the program 2 server. This is the source code for program 2 server, and I will explain it with the client source code. SP to client python. Okay, first this is all the library, and in case why we use include time.h, because we want to retrieve the current time. We want to use the time function. So this is define port. We assign port number, that is any number that more than 1023. Okay, this is the declaration of the variable. This declaration of time. Then we in this line we print the current time into the message variable as a string, and then it become a string. So that's when we send it to the client, it will combine both of the string. Okay, then this is the initialization, the declaration of variable. Also, this is assigning part, the code for the assigning part. This is for the bind to connect the socket. Okay, here you can see that the client the server will print the waiting for client message to wait for the connection from the client. And then this is the initialization of length of the size of client address. So in this part, the server will receive message from let we look at the client. So this is the client, and here is the message that will be sent by the client to the server that is connected. Then after the client send the connected message to the server will receive it and display it by push buffer. It means that the data that we receive from the client is put into the variable buffer, and then we display the buffer. Then the next part is for the server to send the data of the current time. So as you can see earlier, we put the current time inside the message variable so that it will become a full length string. Then at here we can see that the client are waiting to to get the data from the server, that is data of the time, date and time. Then server will print waiting for the date and time from earlier. Then the client, the client will print the waiting for the date and time, and then the client will receive the data of the date and time from the server, and then it will print it. Then the next step is for the client to send a reply message to the server. So this is the coding to reply the message. Here we got the reply message, and here we got the input, and then the input will be sent to the server. Then next, the server will receive the input and put it into the buffer bag again, and then print the message from the client. As you can see here indicates that the client is sending a message, and what is this message will be displayed by the push buffer. Okay, that's all from me.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammmad Imran, and I will present the receiving and sending message between client and server. Okay, firstly, we will compile the server to make sure there is no error. Okay, let me write the command and enter. As you can see, there is no error. Then we will run the server. Okay, let me write the command. /p2 server2. Okay, enter. Okay, as you can see, this message show that the server is waiting for the client. Okay, then we will go to the client and write the connect to the client. Let me write the command first. Okay, enter. Okay, then we see that the client will send the message connected to the server, and it said connected. Next, the client will wait for date and time from the server. After the server send the date and time, the current time is Tuesday, January 2025, 2:32. Okay, the date and time is according to the Linux time and the Windows time. Okay, then we will write a reply message. We'll send thank you message from the client to the server. Let me write thanks. Okay, then the client received the thank you message from the server. Then the close connection.